Good afternoon, hashtag Secure the Grad family. My name is Ivodia Mohanyane, and I'll be your host for this afternoon's Funding and Accommodation webinar. To those of you who are part of the tribe, welcome back. And if you're a newbie over here, where have you been? But don't worry about that. You are here at the right place at the right time, and it's good to have you here with us. We see our chats already started this afternoon, and we cannot wait to get into our conversation with you. Remember, we want to ensure that you have the most perfect of experience today. So stay glued. Don't worry about anything. Have your listening ears on. But remember, for the effectiveness of this webinar, and to make sure that it's as smooth as possible, your microphones as well as your cameras will be deactivated. Just to make sure that we have the smoothest of conversations. And we also want you to join the session using your full name and surname, especially if you're a University of the Free State student. We want to make sure that you do comply with these rules so that you are eligible for our lucky draw right at the end of this webinar. Before we kick off the introduction of our speakers this afternoon, we know that this is a critical time where students are struggling with student finances. Accommodation just is not working out. Things are just not, the way they seem to be. And we want to make sure that we help you unblock these challenges on your way to succeeding and securing that grad. And with us, we have an absolute amazing lineup. Secure the grad style, nothing fake, nothing off the back. Listen, we have brought out the top guns for you today. Ladies and gents, before I introduce my speakers, I also want to invite you to participate in our poll. So throughout the session, you will note that on your screen, there will be a pop-up. As soon as the pop-up comes up, there will be one question and multiple options for you to click on. So you can respond to the question of your choice and click on the submit button. I'll be doing the same throughout this webinar. Now, besides that, we're going to get straight into business because we have a very, very good speaker lineup. Conversations, it's also a critical conversation, and want to make sure that we've got sufficient time to get in your questions and get our speakers to possibly answer those questions. So before we kick off today, I'm going to just start off by asking our speakers to switch on their cameras. I'm going to introduce them. Ntshe. Kego is from CCBSA, and she's the country specialist. She'll also be introducing herself a little bit more. We're just very excited to have you on our webinar, and we're looking forward to the conversation. We also have Tokelo Fako. He's from the University of the Free State's Financial Aid Office, and he'll also be talking all things finances and possible opportunities for you. He's not a stranger. He was actually in one of our first set of webinars when Secure the Grad kicked off in 2021. So Tokelo, it's so amazing to have you back. And he's not alone. He'll be accompanied by Jimmy Bacela, who's also from our University of the Free State's Financial Aid Office. Gentlemen, you are very welcome here on Secure the Grad. Next up, we also have Leah Schafer, who's from Feenix, and she's the head of fundraising and communication. Leah, first time on the platform, and we are looking forward to hearing how the students can take advantage of crowdfunding opportunities and where Feenix comes in. And guys, Feenix is not a new product. They're not new on the block. So I hope that some of you who never knew about it, today will just be that day where you get to take advantage of that. Another person who's not new in the Secure the Grad space, and that's David MacHeu from Center for Graduate Support, and he also deals with postgraduate funding. David, welcome back. Good to have you. And I know for sure the students who are transitioning from undergraduate to postgraduate are looking forward to hear how they can fund those prospects. And last but not least, to speak to us about housing and accommodations, because many of our senior students do not live on our university campuses, but are commuting on a daily basis. Here to talk to us about that, it's Yolinda Lewis. Yolinda, first time also on Secure the Grad, a big welcome, and cannot wait to get into that critical conversation regarding student accommodation. Ladies and gents, with that out of the way, you can see who's here. and we're going to find out a little bit more about them individually before we dig in to the main conversation. So to kick us off, I'm going to ask Tokelo to maybe switch on his camera. I cannot see Tokelo on my screen. There he goes. Tokelo, welcome back. Once I said again, to jog the memory of our Secure the Gradders or those who are fresh on our platform, we'd like to ask you that you just maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role entails. And lastly, what does a typical day in that hectic chair of yours look like at work?
Thank you very much, Evodia. You had to start with me, which kind of, threw me off a bit there. But thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. The Secure Grad family. Thank you very much for inviting me once again. My name is Tokelo, as Tokelo Fako has already mentioned. I am from the Financial Aid Office here at the University of the Free State. I've been with the department, I think, plus or minus 10 years, I think. I might be wrong. But the typical day for me is coffee. Firstly, when I get to the office, respond to emails, answer phone calls, assist students. Yeah, that's just the typical day, or meet funders as well. So that's the typical day for me. And I'm glad to be here. And I hope by the end of my presentation, some of the students will be well equipped in knowing how to secure some funds for their next year studies. Thank you.
That's great, Nicola. Welcome once again, and we're looking forward into getting to that conversation. Jimmy, someone said, I know Jimmy Bacela. It sounded like a name of some soccer superstar. So, Jimmy, tell us, do you do soccer in your after 8 to 4 job? Tell us a little bit more about yourself and what does your role entail?
Thank you so much, Evodia, for inviting me, first of all. I would like to greet everyone, students and colleagues, for joining us this afternoon in this webinar. We are going to give insightful information in terms of the funding. For those of you that doesn't know me yet, my name is Jimmy Bacela, as Evodia mentioned. I am working here at the University of Free State External Bursaries Office. I am dealing with the external bursaries, funders, etc. But I'll tell you more about that when we go. And my typical day, when I get to office, like Mr. Tokelo mentioned, we do coffee. After coffee, we will be doing our usual work every day, meeting students, walk-ins, phone calls, and also the reporting as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jimmy. Welcome on our platform. And we really like Tokelo, looking forward to understanding a little better what opportunities your office can present to the students. Now, let's kick off this conversation with you, Tokelo, that you maybe tell us, now that we understand that coffee is the main part of the job, or part of the main part of the job. Can you tell us what is the role of financial aid and tuition fees? Because I know they might fall under the same directorate at this university, but our understanding is that they do different things. Can you talk to us about that?
Thank you, thank you very much for that, Ivodi. I always say that the difference between financial aid and tuition fees, for those that know soccer, is the relationship, Arsenal versus Tottenham. So if you know the history behind the two teams, you'll understand. But usually I can't speak much more about tuition fees, but just to give a light, tuition fees is basically an office that most of the students despise, because it's that office that always says you owe us, so you better pay us. And then the financial aid office, this is a unit that was created, or that was started here at the university, in order to assist students in terms of funding, where we assist students in finding money for them and also assist them in applying for different available funds. So that's the gist of it. I hope that kind of answers.
It does. And yeah, so the one is the Moreki, the other one is the Mashonisa. So basically in those terms, I don't watch soccer. I understand loan shark and I understand investors like the angel network. Those are the two that I understand. Given the scenario you've just painted to us, particularly about the financial aid office helping to connect students with funding opportunities, can you tell us what type of bursaries are offered at the University of the Free State, and how can students find out about these opportunities?
Thank you very much, Evodia. That's a great question, actually. Here at the Financial Aid Office, or here at the University of the Free State, we, especially our office, we offer multiple bursaries. We offer merit award bursaries. That's a bursary that assists, not actually that assists students, that's a bursary that we reward a student for great work. You know, those students who pass their studies in distinctions. That's what the merit award is there for. So we just basically congratulate you for doing a great job. And then we have sports bursary. That one is administered by COFC Sport. So it's, you know, for students who are into different types of sporting code, your athletics, your soccer, your rugby, and the application forms specifically for COFC Sports Bursary are available on our university's website. I think later on, while Jimmy is talking, I will post some of the links for the students so that they can able to access some of that information concerning different bursaries that I'm going to talk about. And then the third bursary that also is offered here at the university is the leadership, art, and cultural bursaries. This self-explanatory. It's for those students who are in a leadership position, your SRC, your res heads, and those ones who are in different, I think, organizations around campus. They are more than welcome to apply for those bursaries. And also, the information concerning that is available on the university's website. The person to speak to, or the person to inquire to concerning the leadership, art, and cultural bursary, also including I think it's the COFSI alumni. They can contact Mrs. Juanita Beitendach, but I'll also provide the information in the chat box for the students who are interested in that bursary or types of bursaries. And lastly, we offer NSFAS related bursaries. NSFAS related bursaries, obviously, it's your NSFAS bursary. We help NSFAS to administer that here at the university. And then we have COID. COID is our / compensation fund from the Department of Labor. And we have National Skills Fund from the Department of Higher Education. And then we have DAL. That's Department of Agriculture and Land Reform. Yeah, Department of Agriculture and Land Reform. That strictly is for agricultural students. So those are the types of bursaries that are offered here, besides the ones that Jimmy is going to speak about. But those are the types of bursaries that we offer here at the University of the Free State.
Great. I think many of us just thought it's NSFAS and that's where it ends, and maybe the merit bursary, because I know the merit bursary is quite a popular one here at the university. So let's hear from you, Jimmy. What other opportunities are there that the university presents from the Financial Aid Office?
And that's where I come in with the external bursaries, the ones that Mr. TK was referring to in terms of the sports, leadership, etc. Those are the internal bursaries. So I'll be elaborating more on external bursaries. So I'll be telling you more about what is it these external bursaries entails, the types of external bursaries that we work with, difference between the internal and also the external. But with the internal one, Mr. TK has already given more information about it. And I'll also be further telling you, without waste of time, I'll be telling you why is it so important for us to source this funding on behalf of students And also lastly, I'll also be sharing some of the success stories of the students that we have. We helped previously with these external bursaries. So if you can just maybe allow me to tell you the types of the external bursaries that we have. The ones we've got 3 types. The first one is merit-based. This one is awarded based on the academic achievements and sports and other talents that the student might possess. Second one is need-based, which is given to the students who demonstrate financial need. We know financially so, as students, they are coming from different family backgrounds. They do not afford to pay for their studies. So that one is need-based. And the last one, it's field-specific, meaning this one is been given to the students who are studying in a specific field. Like, for example, we've got students that are studying medicine, and also we've got students that are studying engineering, arts, education, accounting, etc. So that one is field-specific. So I'm going to be telling you more about the internal bursaries, but Mr. TK will come in anytime. With regards to the internal bursaries, like he mentioned, that we also have the internal bursaries, like the one of merit award, where if you performed better from matric, for instance, the university already picked you up in terms of your performance, and already before you can do anything, that's when the university has provided you with that merit award. And that one, students do not apply for it. The university has the system whereby it can detect the student does qualify for it, and it's been done on behalf of the students. And with regards to the the difference between internal and external, now the external bursaries are those ones that have been offered by the external organizations, companies, and the government agencies. Particularly with our office, we focus more on, but not only limited to, we focus more on SETAs. There's 21 SETAs for those that doesn't know in South Africa. So every SETA has its own industry whereby they are giving bursaries. And also that's where we come in and try to extract as much money as we can in our office. And also with regards to that SETAs, some of them, they've been applied directly. Like, for example, student will apply for them directly. And some of them we apply as the university on behalf of the students, meaning when we get this funding from these SETAs, we will be selecting students based on academic performance, family background, and so forth. And going forward with regards to why these external bursaries are so important, meaning this is the reason why we wake up every day to come to work and try to see how can we change or affect students' life. So this one, we believe that these external bursaries play a major role in terms of the financial support. Like I mentioned earlier on, that students, not all of them, they have means to get, to afford their studies. And also, it also increases the opportunity for them because after they've been funded, some of the SETAs, they offer an opportunity for the students to come and work. Maybe they will place the an opportunity for the students to have the internship after studies, something like that. And also it builds the confidence in the profile of the students, because once the student has been firstly captured on the SETA system, meaning now the SETA or the government has already known the student that they've utilized the SETA before me or maybe during their course of studies and so forth. And of course, there's links where these students can get this information that I'm referring to. I've got on the chat box, I'll also give it the link where the student can go and apply. And of course, in the university webpage under Student Financial Aid tab, there's more information about the external bursaries. And also, if you allow me, I'm worried about your time, but I've got 2 success stories. I'm not going to waste your time, just 2 minutes. One is from Mr. Mhlauli. He is, I'm just going to read what he wrote to us over the years. Now. So, Mr. Mhlauli, I'm incredibly grateful to the Bank SETA for their generous support throughout my academic journey. As a Bachelor of Commerce student specializing in business and financial analytics at the University of Free State, the bursary has been instrumental in easing a financial burden on my studies. Since my second year, the assistance provided has significantly contributed to my academic progress and success. Now, As I enter the final year, I reflect on the pivotal role this support has played in my achievement. Thank you, Bacela, for being a crucial part of my educational experience. Now, that student was also helped through our office, and then now they are doing their final year. So we've been helping him from second and last story. It's from Mr. Holoti. He says, I am deeply grateful to the HWCTA for their generous support throughout my studies as a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery student at the University of the Free State. The bursary assistance I received since my second year have been invaluable. This financial support has significantly eased the burden of academic expenses and allowed me to focus fully on my studies, meaning that I assume that financial assistant, it was like sort of like a relief. So as he continues, he says, I'm now in my fourth year, and I truly appreciate the crucial role that HWCTA has played in helping me reach the milestone. Thank you for the commitment to my academic journey. So that's this success stories. There's plenty of more, like these more stories. So I choose two of them. So that's what we do in a typical day. Thank you, Vodia.
Thank you so much for sharing those success stories. I think often, the phenomenon of I have to see it to believe it is also something that's very crucial when it comes to money. And sometimes the students do think, what are my chances of getting in if there are 20,000 of us that are applying for 5 bursary spots? So thank you so much, Jimmy. I think that is helpful in the students understanding what these bursaries do and that there are those that have significantly benefited from that. Now, just want to jump over maybe to ask, based on these opportunities, how can you guys, or what are other opportunities what other opportunities you have in place to support the students financially outside of this? Are these the only ones? And if so, how can you help them? How can students apply for these opportunities?
Thank you so much, Vodia, for that question. It's a crucial one. I almost get all the time get it from the students. We also, apart from dealing with the exact bursaries, we also having the pool whereby we assisting with the historic debt. Like for those students that have graduated, some of them they did not have financial assistance during their studies, and then now they are struggling to pay their historic debt. So our office, what it does, we apply again to these sitters and then try to source the historic debt. So we also assist with the historic debt as well.
So how do students apply for it? Do they come to your office? Can they just rock up and say, hey, Jimmy, can I apply for a bursary? Is there a process that the students have to go through?
Well, with regards to the these sitters, the current bursaries, what we do, like I mentioned earlier on, that we have these ones that you can apply directly on their websites, which I'm going to post the information on the chat box. And then we also have the one that we apply on behalf of the students. So what we do, we have the selection criteria based on the funders requirements, and we select students based on the funders requirements. So the one of historic debt, we also look into students that who's really in need of the financial assistance. And of course, it plays a major role for those ones that maybe are facing deregistration and stuff like that. So we also take part on that one. All right. I don't know if I answered your question.
You did. So if a student wants to get in touch, or let me give Tokelo first an opportunity
there. Thank you very much for that, Evodia. I just wanted to quickly add on what Jimmy said. For those students who want to apply for DAL, the Department of Agriculture bursary, please note that the applications are closing on the 30th of September. I am going to post through the chat the link that will take you to the required information, the required documents, and also the application form. So please make sure that if you know any student who's doing agriculture and needs funding, they have that link. Secondly, with COID, the bursary doesn't have a closing date per se. Okay. So the students are more than welcome to contact Miss Namhla Ntia here at the Financial Aid Office. I will provide her email also on the chat so that she can able to assist you. But please note that the age limit, unfortunately, for COED is 25. And lastly, NSF, which is National Skills Fund. Previously, the bursary used to concentrate on different academic years. However, they have decided going forward in 2025 that they will only be focusing on first-year students. So all those first-year students in 2025, if they need funding, they will have to make sure that they are registered at the University of the Free State. It doesn't matter which degree that they're doing. We will then see how we can able to assist them.
Can I also
Great.
jump in quickly?
Yeah, please.
Yes. For those students that are in need of funding for next year, I've got TITA. It's one of the SETAs in the transport industry. It's currently open, so we urge students to apply there. It's one of those that student can apply directly in the website. I'll also post the website link on the chat box. So the application is open. It's been open since from the 11th of August. It will be closed on the 11th of September. So this one it will be for students in engineering, law, BSc in data science, and so forth. So when they go to that link, they will see the courses that are open there. Thank you, Bodi.
Thank you so much. So, Jimmy, before you, and this is for both you and Tokelo, you have worked with thousands of students, that come in and out of your office year in, year out, seeking these opportunities. What would you say are some of the challenges that come with having to match students with funding opportunities? What do you see as sometimes the blockers in students being matched with funding?
Thank you so much for asking that question. It's a very important question, and thank you for that. So some of the challenges that we encounter here, remember now we're working closely with this government agencies, which is SETAs. And then one of the things is the income threshold to determine it. Some student, they will be trying to do fraudulent stuff and things like that. So, but one of the challenges which is big and we're trying to mitigate it's the income, household income. Because if you have more than 350 or 600, and meaning you are not eligible for these bursaries. So that's one of the challenges. And also, of course, the students without funding, the ones that they've been not approved. It also becomes a challenge on us because now we have to try by all means to try to get other fundings for them. Thank you.
Thank you. So Tokelo, you've been here for about 10 years and you've seen some of the challenges that are presented also either from the funder or from the student side. What are those and how could we help students overcome, particularly on our side, how could we help students overcome these challenges?
Gosh, that 10 years sounds or does make me feel like it's fossil. Thank you very, very much for that, Evodia. The challenges that, starting first with the funders, the challenges that we tend to get or face from funders usually tends to be the budget, because sometimes the budget fluctuates, especially your NSF, especially any government related fund that tends to be a lot of fluctuation in terms of their budgets. So that's the only challenge that I can say, really wrecks up or like gives us sleepless nights. Other than that, the challenges that we tend to receive from the student side, in all honesty, is that our fellow students don't like reading emails and they lose so much from not reading emails, because sometimes you communicate via emails to inform that, like, listen, you have been chosen, or listen, a certain bursary is open, please apply. And students don't apply, and then they come a week later, and unfortunately at that time we had already submitted whatever was required by the funder, and that's how students lose opportunities. So I will really plead with the students, please continue to check your emails every single morning and every single evening before you sleep, just so that you don't miss any important information when it comes to funding. I think that's the only thing that I have qualm with, I think.
In wrapping up our conversations with financial aid, before obviously we do the Q&A segment, I want to find out, so if you don't reach a student via email, are there instances where you've tried to get hold of the students telephonically, and what are challenges around that?
Yes, we do send SMS communication to students to inform them that please look at your email addresses. But sometimes we have noticed that students like to change cell phone numbers without actually updating with the student academic services. So that's another problem that we tend to have. So please, if you change your cell phone number, make sure that you update your information with the student academic services. And no, we cannot SMS your mom or your dad. It has to be you, because mama and papa can be busy at times and miss a very important phone call or an SMS that can able to secure funding for you. So I think from my side, that's what I can say to the students.
Thank you so much. So I want to reiterate what Tokelo and Jimmy really highlighted. The opportunities are there. They perhaps are not enough to cover everybody, but for those select students that do encounter these opportunities, I want to encourage that please read your email. I know the university sends out a lot of communication and sometimes you tend to ignore it, but you'll never know when an opportunity comes knocking at your door and it's your time to get funded. So be a diligent student. You want to be a graduate that becomes a global citizen, as our slogan says at the University of the Free State. So please make sure that you are diligent in changing your contact details on PeopleSoft, Oracle PeopleSoft, as soon as it changes. Our first poll has just hit our screen. So we want to know from you, how will you fund your studies for the upcoming academic year? So for 2025, how are you funding those studies? Do you already have a scholarship or bursary? Do you have a student loan? Do you have a work-study program that's funding from your personal savings or the family's contributing? Or do you have a part-time job that you'll be using? Or are you planning on getting some crowd or getting opportunity with crowdfunding? Please pick your choice and click on the submit button. My answer is in, and I hope yours too. We're going to now, I see the postgrad students have been, coming for us in the chats. It's now your opportunity to find out from David. David, let's talk to you a little bit about what is happening in the Office of Center for Graduate Support, particularly around funding. But before we jump into that, you tell us a little bit more. What do you do? What does your role entail? So if we see you on the Koffsie streets, what are you known for?
Good afternoon, Evodia. Thank you so much. So my name is David MacHeu, and I work in the funding office here at the Center for Graduate Support. So basically what I do is I assist with the administration of funding opportunities for postgraduate studies. Well, about myself, there isn't really much I can say. But typically in a day, basically it would be around just attending to funding related inquiries, both emails as well as walk-in consultations.
Okay, now that we know you are not that busy at work, can you tell us what other services are available for students at the Center for Graduate Support?
Okay, I do have something that I'll just like to share.
Please go ahead.
Okay.
So for our postgraduate, Secure the Gratis, I hope you're having your ears and eyes glued to your screen, because the quill questions are about to get answered in a moment by David.
Okay, can you please confirm if you can see my screen?
It just went, it's visible now.
Okay. Yes, so we do offer a range of services or support to postgraduate students. such as assistance with applications, academic writing, funding. We also have online programs, the professional development, PDP, and then resources as well. We assist with that, such as your policy documents. And then we also do have student tracking, as well as we assist with submissions, thesis submissions. And then lastly, we also do offer research capacity building workshops. So if students need more information, they must please visit our website. They can also reach us via telephone as well as the email.
So I like the fact that, I know sometimes when we think of Center for Graduate Support, we only think, how can they fund us? So it's great to see that there's more to this office than just funding, and that it's holistic support you offer for our postgraduate students. But for this conversation, we want to zone in a little bit on the funding component that you offer. So can you talk to us about funding options that are available, particularly for our postgraduate students, and how students can apply for these opportunities?
Okay. All right. I also do have a presentation. So as I've mentioned, basically what we do in the funding office, we administrate funding opportunities for the postgraduate community. So the funding opportunities that do come through our office, we do share that via the newsletter. The newsletter, the UFS student emails, as well as the university's website. Currently, the main sources of funding that we do have for postgraduate studies is the National Research Foundation, the NRF in short, the UFS tuition fee bursaries, as well as the MERCITA bursary. Okay, and then just to touch on each, starting with the National Research Foundation, the NRF funds all full-time programs with research in the areas of science, engineering, technology, social sciences, and humanities. And then you must please just take note of the closing dates for the master's and doctoral studies. The scholarships are closed, and for the honors scholarship, the applications are currently open and will close on the 22nd of November, 2024. Okay, and then in terms of the eligibility criteria, with the NRF, you can either qualify for a full cost of study or a partial cost of study. To qualify for the full cost of study, you must be an exceptional achiever with a minimum average of 75%, or you must be a financially needy student with a minimum of 65% for your final year. And then if you do not qualify for the full cost of study, you can qualify for the partial cost of study with an average of 65%. And then what's important to note with to qualify for the honors scholarship, you must be 28 years of age or younger in the year of application. And then you must also be a South African citizen.
So okay. I see in the chat, students are saying it's a lot of competition, those 75% criteria, but Secure Graduates, come on, you guys are the smart of the smartest. 75% is nothing for you. Sure, it's easy waters. So how does the NRF work, David?
In terms of
who's eligible for the NRF funding?
Okay, so basically, you can either qualify for the full cost or the partial cost. And then in my presentation, I was just going to show the values If you qualified for the difference is if you qualified for the full cost of study, the amount is more, and then for the partial cost, you will receive a less amount. So with the full cost of study, you also get a once-off electronic allowance device.
So with this, with these benefits, are there other benefits that the students can enjoy, or that these bursaries and funding opportunities bring for students? So outside of tuition and the device, what else do they cover?
With the NRF, basically what happens is you get the full value, the value of the scholarship. And what the NRF is saying is if you are a postgrad, you actually an adult, so you should be able to budget and do what you need to do. So you get the full amount. And then the university will take what is owed, and then we will divide the remainder by 12 months, and then so you'll receive that as an allowance each month.
All right, so that's very clear. So if students want to find out about these bursaries, some of the conditions, or they have applied and they seem to be experiencing some issues with some of these bursaries, who can they contact at the Center for Graduate Support?
Okay, in terms of the contact details, they can definitely contact myself. I work with the honors funding. They can contact Ms. Lindiwe Boy on the master's and doctoral funding, and then Dr. Danila Vessels, who works with the UFS bursaries.
Before I let you go in this round, David, I want to ask also, for the postgraduate bursaries, is it only in terms of eligibility? Does your nationality matter? Must you be South African, or are there funding opportunities available for our international students?
There is funding available for international students as well. The UFS bursaries are also open. They do cater for international students as well. The NRF as well, for masters and PhD, they do cater for international students.
All right. So Sitolu Buhle, you did hear that. I know you are one of the people that asked whether international students can be funded. So we will circle back to you. So thank you so much for this conversation. I think it really shed some light for our students, particularly those who are already busy with their postgraduate studies. I'm going to ask David, as per usual, that you please engage with some of the questions in the chat, and the rest we can jump into with our Q&A segment. So with that being said, for our postgraduate students, or if you are thinking of pursuing your postgraduate studies, you did see from the presentation that David gave that the masters and PhDs, the funding deadline has already been reached and it has passed. But if you are going to be studying your honors, so for the final year students who are looking into doing an honors degree next year, you have an opportunity till November to submit those applications. Remember, don't wait for the night before the closing date. As Murphy's Law has it, whatever can go wrong will definitely is guaranteed to go wrong in that last minute. So start getting those applications ready and do contact the Center for Graduate Support if you need any help. Now we're going to shift the conversation a little bit, and we're going to talk about crowdfunding. And here with us to talk to us is Leah. Leah, welcome to #SecureTheGrad. We're absolutely looking forward to hearing a little bit about Feenix and what it has in store for our students.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone. Very excited to be here. So Feenix started as
Leah,
yes,
you are a stranger to us, and we don't talk to strangers at Secure the Grad.
That is
Who
good.
are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Charm us a little bit, Leah, before you get into a relationship with us.
That is true. That's true. Let's build trust before we enter this relationship. So I am Lee Schafer. I started at Feenix in January as the head of fundraising and communication. And my role, typically, that of me and my team, is to look for funding for students. So I think it's quite amazing that, in the background, there's a lot of people working very hard to support students out there. So when you feel, you're alone or nobody's fighting your battles, know that the Feenix team is definitely fighting your battles for you. And our job is to raise as much funding as possible for our students. So I work quite closely with our student advancement team who support you through your student journey with finance as well as with operations. So our role is of me and my team is work with corporate funders and work with individuals and also running campaigns, profiling students and also the challenges students face. So that's basically in a nutshell who I am in my role. I hope we can start a relationship.
Welcome. Someone said Leah is not here to Lee is not here to play. She's standing on business. So I love the fact that you're like, listen, Evodia, no time to waste. We need to help the students. So with that being said, I know Feenix has really worked very hard along these years because student funding is a real issue, not just in South Africa, but globally, particularly student debt, that our students do struggle with debt, and it's often a huge blocker in them getting into those or taking advantage of economic opportunities. With that background, Lee, can you maybe talk to us a little bit about what Feenix does and how does it assist the students?
Thank you. So Feenix, you may only know that Feenix is, or the only thing you may know about Feenix, it's a crowdfunding platform. So it started as a crowdfunding platform in 2017 with the Fees Must Fall movement. We have progressed to now we are a fundraising organization for youth and for all students in South Africa. And that includes South African citizens, it includes asylum seekers, as well as those with refugee seekers. And we basically raise funds from corporates, institutions, individuals with the sole purpose of providing tuition support. And some funders come alongside us and we say to them, okay, our students also need support with food, transport, laptops, data. Would you be able and willing to fund this, including quite a stigmatized topic, which is mental health and wellness, which is so important for students as well, especially in today's age. There's nothing wrong with mental wellness and mental challenges. So that's basically, so we understand the student need, yes, funding, but the student need accommodation, food, laptops, etc. So we support the student on their academic journey. And for the one student I saw they spoke about or made a comment around, what is the entry requirement? We don't look for 80% because we acknowledge when you have registered, if you've been accepted at one of the 26 public universities that we work with, you have jumped through hoops, hurdles, overcome immense challenges on that way. So we celebrate you. So even if you just scraped through by the seat of your pants, we are still there for you. And we've had students who they've scraped through and they've gone on to become A students. So yes.
I think that's a game changer in the funding landscape, particularly for our students, because we do know sometimes those academic criteria are tricky, but also that some funders only fund for tuition and the student is then left to fend for the rest. So, and those, based on the research we've done, we know those are huge blockers of success, even for students who have funding. Now, I know crowdfunding is but a portion of what Feenix does, but I know this is not something that's very popular in South Africa, especially amongst our student population. Can you maybe talk to us a little bit about the importance, particularly of crowdfunding in this current time for our students?
No, definitely I will. I also have some of my Feenix colleagues or tribe on the call. So Nasi, Bash, if you can unmute, you're also welcome to jump in. So crowdfunding, I see it is the old you champion your. It's a bit like a stockfile, the old raffle. The you get a group of friends together. It's the you have a, I don't know, old bazaar. You bake things. It's getting a group of people together to champion your cause. So it's basically, so now we're doing it on a tech platform, our technology platform. So as in a relationship, we want to enter a relationship with the student. It's give and take. It's like dating, it's give and take. We're not always paying for the bill. We're expecting something from you guys as well. So we're asking you to go to your friends. I'm sure you must have a friend. Go to your friends, family, go to community, go to I don't know, sports teams, go to groups, Rotaries, all of those groups, and say to them, "This is me. I need somebody to give something towards my tuition. The amount doesn't matter. You may need 500,000, but let's start small. Don't ask them 500,000. Ask them, can you each give me 10 rand? Can you have I don't know, a car wash day for me? Can the gogos in the community or the Tanny on the Cape Flats, wherever you are, have a cake sale? Donate something. And from that, you can, you show Feenix, you show our funders, yes, we've got skin in the game, we're willing to contribute. And then what we do from a crowdfunding side, and that is Nosipu, which is on the call, we will then put campaigns together to feature students to say, listen, we've got students who need support, who needs you to support them for tuition so they can progress to the next phase and actually graduate debt free. So when the funder sees, okay, here's a student who's also doing something, you only need 10 Rand on that platform, 10 Rand. So we support you. We say, get your first 100, and from there it's easy. And the rest will come. I don't know, Nasi, if you're on the line, you want to add something, please feel free.
Nasi, do you want to add something before we jump into the next question? Let's wait and see. I don't have any view on my screen at the moment.
Okay, I do want to add just one thing we've got. There's a few students who graduated. We've got Latabo, he's now, sure, I think he works for the NPA now, but he's also crowdfunded. He championed, he got champions together, asked friends, family, and he graduated debt-free. We've got a student whose funder was our Olympic silver medalist, Akani Simbini.
Yes.
He reached out to his network. They say we're all 3 people away from the president. You don't know who you know, who's in your network. And he just reached out and he contacted all his friends, all his network, and he reached his goal. So it is very doable. Start with one. Yeah.
So Lee, I want to know, so what support do you provide, does the Feenix team provide students in setting up these profiles and making sure that their stories are compelling? Because I think for some funders, they need to know a little bit more about you. What are they investing in? Who are they investing in? Can you talk to us a little bit about that process?
Definitely. We are here we have a student advancement team. They support you. We also work with then with Nosipu. What we do with fundraising, we have a fundraising webinar or a few fundraising webinars where we basically take you step by step through the process of how to reach your first 100. So we open to questions. We have the webinar. We provide you with that support. If you need assistance in creating a profile, we will share with you what type of photo, what the photo should look like. There's a bit of a story. We can help you write the story. We won't write the story for you, but we will say to you, this is the angle. And people, I know sometimes people don't want to, and I may be one, don't want my face to be there, and now there's my story. Now everyone knows that I'm needing funding. It's okay. We all need something in life.
Yeah.
So put it out there. So we do have, I think Nosipo came on. I think Nosipo's there.
There she is.
Yeah, so with the webinars, crowdfunding, we'll hold your hand through it all. The student advancement team has support. There's beautiful Nasi. So student advancement team provides support with whatever you need, whether it's applications, documentation, how to be onboarded, how to go live with the moderation. There's a whole bunch of things that the student advancement team also does in the background. So it's, once you reach out to us, with a telephone call, it's dating, but once you reach out to us, we in it with you, and then we married. We here with you and for you. It's 100%, 100%. Nasi, over to you.
Welcome, Nasi.
You're on mute.
It's still on mute, Nasi. Let's try again to unmute. Just check your microphone settings. There could be a challenge with the microphone settings. But while Nosi is figuring out her microphone, I do want to agree that, and I see Bashir has also put in there from the Feenix team, that your story matters. And that really is what gets everybody on board. Guys, when you need money for for that degree, we want to secure that grad. Come, listen, come storm, come rain, come whatever. So I know sometimes our pride gets in the way and we don't want everybody to know, as Lee said. But what the heck? So what? I need something. We all need something in our journey. Today, I don't want to air my dirty laundry, but guess what? I had a doctor's appointment and I needed someone to stand. And I said to the team, listen, guys, I didn't want anybody to know I'm sick today, but there it is. I'm sick today. It's very personal, but here's my story, and I'm going to need someone to sit in my chair just in case I don't make it for this webinar. So listen, our story is really what gets everybody to bite in, and I just wanted to highlight that. Nosipo, are you ready for us? Still can't hear you.
Oh no.
Oh no, Nosipo. I maybe want to ask that you maybe get off the platform and back in again, and then we'll definitely circle back to you from this. But Lee, while we try and get Nosipo back online with us, I maybe want to ask, how can students get in touch with Feenix? So I see the emails already there as well around the support. Do you have different branches across the country? Is there perhaps a contact person in different places in South Africa, or is it directly online where the students can get hold of you?
It's directly online. We do have an office in Johannesburg in Rosebank and an office in Cape Town. But online, our support team is really quick, very responsive. You can go onto our website. You can even go onto support@feenix.org. They are very responsive. We get we manage large volumes of requests from students, prospective students, and sometimes with our funders, sometimes they want very specific because triple BE is a big thing in South Africa.
Yeah.
So companies are looking for all students. They're looking for students of color. So please, sometimes we get requests from funders and then we can't find the right students. So guys, we need you. Ladies and gentlemen, we need you out there. Come to us. When we ask you questions, we will ask you for paperwork. Our student advancement team, Bacela, we will do the moderation. So yeah, work with us, this two-way relationship, so that we can get you funded and sponsored. The quicker you respond to our student advancement team, they work very closely with the fundraising team, and we will share the information with our funders to say, these are the students, this is the date, the students, these are future leaders. I don't know, somebody here may be a president, you know, so that can inspire the next generation. So as much as you need funding, as much as you need us, we also need you.
So as you heard from Lee and the team, it's not all doom and gloom in the chats over there. There are opportunities. I know some funding is quite limited, but here's an opportunity and it's open for everybody. You heard the very limited criteria here, very inclusive approach to how they want to help the students reach their dream of graduating and starting off their careers in that dream. So Lee, to you and your team, thank you very much. And we're going to chat again with you as soon as we jump into our Q&A segment. We're going to move to CCBSA, oldly known as Coca-Cola. I know people are like, what is CCBSA? Those of us who are in the 80s babies know them as Coca-Cola, but they are now formally known as CCBSA. We're going to chat to Ntshe. Kego, welcome with us. So wonderful to have you on our platform. I cannot see.
Thank you so much, Evodia. It's absolutely amazing to be part of the session.
Kego, tell us a little bit, what do you do at CCBSA? What does your role intake? And if you can talk to us a little bit about what does a typical day or a week look like in that busy chair of yours?
So I work for, like how you mentioned now, CCBSA, it stands for Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa. And my role is a country specialist for employer branding. So I sit within the people and culture team, and I focus on, attracting as well as retaining top talent in the market. And young talent being a main focus for us as a business, because we believe that's where our future leaders are. So I'm excited about this webinar, and thank you so much for inviting us.
It is a great pleasure, always a pleasure to have the Coca-Cola team with us here. You, in your culture office, we know there are great partnerships that CCBSA has been playing, particularly in the space of higher education. And what we want to find out from you today is, are there funding opportunities available from this organization, and which students would typically be eligible for these opportunities?
Yeah, I'm glad, Evodia, that you mentioned that. I actually prepared a presentation that I wanted to present this afternoon to walk you through, the journey of then getting funded by CCBSA, as well as an overview in terms of how to enter the world of work, because it's quite important for our graduates to know what it is and what steps they need to follow when they are, tapping into the real world of work outside the secured gates of, universities. Okay.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Let me share my screen quickly.
So we know here at Secure the Grad that securing the grad is just that first step in getting you to secure the bag. So I'm glad that Kego is exactly going to talk to us about how we can have a long-term view of not just reaching one success from one module to another, but how can we keep our eyes on the prize. Kego, over to you, and your presentation is visible.
Thank you, Vodia. Before I actually proceed, I did a huge mistake, guys. I forgot to introduce my colleague. Her name is Precious. She leads the learning and development team of CCBSA. Precious, if you can just quickly introduce yourself, we'll kind of tag team while, presenting this to the students as well. Precious?
Precious, welcome.
Thank you so much, Kego. Thank you, Evo. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone can see me. I'm representing. Today, I don't look bad after all. So my name is Precious. There's no hair birthday today. My name is
Never.
Precious Mampodo. I'm the Learning and Development Specialist, mainly looking after all the pivotal programs, study assistance, but for the internal employees, and also triple BEE, as well as governance and reporting overall, everything that is happening in the learning and development. It's great to be here.
Awesome. We look forward to chatting with you as well and hearing from your side. Back to you, Kego.
Perfect. Thanks, Evodia. Thanks, Preshi. So CCBSA has actually partnered with a lot of universities in South Africa, and the University of Free State in particular has a long-standing partnership with you guys. So we have what we call a study buddy fund available to second and third year students. Let me just quickly walk through it. So basically the bursary would cover the tuition fee, textbooks, as well as give support to previously disadvantaged students, or students that come from previously disadvantaged communities. We literally have put the strategy together as a business to ensure that we also give back to society at large, which is quite important, because that's one of our key drivers as a business, to say, good and well enough, we make cool drinks and that's what people know us for, but we do other things over and above that, just to ensure that we contribute to the South African economy. Okay. The purpose of the partnership with UFS in particular, we've actually been working with you guys for over 3 years, is to support learners in assisting them with their student debts, as well as host those disadvantaged communities and give them opportunity to find financial freedom as well. Now, Ivodi, I'm sure you're going to ask this question, and I'll just kind of speak to it already because it's part of my presentation. The criteria, and I know you guys mentioned this earlier on, or a student asked this question. You definitely must be a South African citizen with a South African ID number. Students must be in their second or third year of study for us to fund them, and you should not be funded by NFSIS as well. So you should not have any financial backing for you to qualify for us to give you the study buddy assistance. Okay. Any questions, Ivodi, or can I proceed?
You can go for it, Precious. Kego, I'm already thinking about Precious already. So please go for it. And we'll weave in questions after your presentation.
Great stuff. So how CCBSA will support, young emerging leaders getting into the market. So I've put here how we would support the graduates. This is where Precious will come in, because this is her space. She leads the learning and development team. So we offer bursaries, internships, learnerships, grad programs, in-service training programs. And I'm going to let her speak to the slide, because this is what she does every day, all day.
All right.
Okay, should I go for it? Thank you so much.
Yes.
Cool. So what we actually do here at CCBSA is that we have interns. We all know that once you're done and you've graduated, you need that opportunity, to enter the work life,
Precious, I've lost you.
Majority of them. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're back.
Okay. Majority of them, we look forward into logistics. We have HR, we have finance, we have manufacturing if you're doing your engineering.
I think Precious network might just be a bit choppy there, but we'll give her an opportunity to jump back on the call.
Okay, so while she is struggling with her network, let me just quickly take over the conversation. It's really about offering opportunities in different fraternities in our business. So our functions are HR, which is the people and culture team. Precious, are you back?
I am back.
Ivo, please help me now. Because remember, I can't see the screen because I'm sharing a presentation.
I am back. Can you hear me now?
Happy.
Can I continue?
We are. I think we currently are affected by a dip in the network. So don't worry about that. We're going to make sure that we get our colleagues from Coca-Cola back on the chat. Kego Precious, any one of you back with us?
I can hear you, Vodi. I don't know about Precious.
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me now? I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, much better. Quickly, before we lose connection again.
Go for
Apologies
it,
about that. I think now we need an IT intern, hey?
Definitely.
So I'm still talking about learnerships.
Yes. So we there on the learnerships and what type of learnerships you guys provide?
Okay, cool. So currently we have different learnerships. So when we talk about learnership, we don't discriminate, but the entry level, it's grade 12, right? But even if you have your qualification, you are allowed to apply. So a learnership is like a 12-month program. They give you the learning, they also give you the stipend and the experience. Okay.
All right.
So the main interns that the main learnerships that we have in commercial, so which is sales related and marketing related. We have in logistics. We also have in packaging, which is the manufacturing. We also have in HR, and we also have a big one where we have learners with disability. So at CCBSA, we do not discriminate. We will definitely give you an opportunity, regardless whether you are able or unable. So we do have like over 100 learners living with disability. They are busy in a program, right?
Yes.
So we also have apprenticeship, both internal and external, whereby you can be employed with CCBSA. And then when we see an opportunity for you to grow, we can put you on a program for you to become an artisan. We also do offer opportunities to those that have studied the ends and they want to make sure that they complete further and they do their trade test and they become artisans. We also do in-service trainees for those that needs to complete the work experience for them to finish their qualifications. Those opportunities are available. All you have to do is to make sure that you visit our website and make sure that you apply. Openings usually open around January, between January and April. That's when we have a new intake, and all these programs are in a period of 12 months. In that 12 months, you will get the work experience, you will get a stipend, and you will get, if there is a fee that we need to pay towards your studies, if it's a qualification like a learnership, the company will pay. The only thing that we need from you is to be committed and see it through this 12 months to make sure that you complete your studies.
So this is quite insightful. And I think our students often don't think of it in this manner, that the pool is quite big, because we know quite a lot of funders are often focused on students who are studying towards quantitative degrees, your math, science, and technology. And it's great to see the vast pool of opportunities at CCBSA.
Definitely, Vodia. Thank you so much for that. And not just learnerships, but we've got what we call in-service trainees. So once the students graduate, we get them into these in-service trainee roles, depending on what faculties or specialities they come from, and then we place them in various functions. When Precious had broken up because of network, I wanted to mention that our functions are, we have strategy analytics, we have finance. So we normally look for qualified chartered accountants. But as a graduate, obviously you would not have qualified as a CA yet. So we can help you and you can come do your articles with us before you write your first board and second board and qualify as a CA. We then have, obviously we're a big manufacturing plant, and all our plants are all over the country, into Africa as well. So if you're doing mechanical engineering or chemical mechanical engineering. You also have space, you know, in our business, procurement as well, logistics, warehousing, sorry, as well as HR, public affairs and communications. So for people that do communications as a major, or we've got space for you guys as well as the commercial team, or in other markets, it might just be posed as marketing. We also have opportunities in those functions as well. Okay.
That is absolutely amazing, Gekgo. So I don't even know where to start in asking what, where, how, but in terms of
Ivo, just a quick one. Can I just add quickly?
Yes, please.
Just bear in mind, once you get any of those opportunities, we have what we call study assistants for internal employees. So if you have done your degree, you got an opportunity to become maybe an intern and you get employed permanently. You do get an opportunity where Coca-Cola pays for you to further your studies. Irregardless whether you want to do your honors, you want to do your masters, you want to do your PhD, they will definitely fund your studies. I look after that function and those opportunities are available. So we're saying the journey doesn't end here when you're here, you're at university. Once you're done and you hit the market and you start looking for a job, just so you know, once you are there, you still have an opportunity to further your studies more.
I cannot remember which company's slogan says the gift that keeps on giving, but I think it sounds like it should be CCBSA's slogan in this regard. So
definitely, thanks. Ivo, over to you.
I wanted to maybe check with you, how can students, because you've worked for many years with students and partnering with universities, how can students best position themselves to remain relevant, particularly in this very competitive market? We saw in the chats earlier students saying, but I met the criteria and I still didn't get picked for an opportunity. How do they best position themselves?
Yeah, that's exactly my next point on my presentation, right? So how do they remain relevant? That's a very important question. For me, Ivo, it starts with defining and understanding and establishing your own personal brand. That will be a differentiating factor for you as an individual getting into the market, right? And really being competitive and gaining insights and being relevant. So personal branding is how you define who you are. And also this is based on people's perceptions of who you are, which is very important. And so I always say to, you know, my colleagues and people that come and be part of our organization, to say it's very important how you relate with people, the relationships you build, how you present yourself to people, and the work that you do, because that actually defines who you are as a human being, and it actually determines what your personal brand is. And that's important, and that's where it all starts. Okay. I said, and I also wanted to make a point that, you know, you are who you are, and that is your brand, but also be careful of, you know, the type of content you listen to or people that you follow, because then that will influence who you are and where you want to take your career. So that's very important. Understanding the market and market trends is also a very big thing in today's market. And how, you know, our students need to do that is, the first thing, be aware of what's happening in the market, all the changes in your field. If you're in engineering or finance, you must know what's happening. What are the latest trends? What are the latest, you know, innovations or technology that's happening, because we all know that we're moving to the fourth industrial revolution, and that's where we are all going. I'm sure every single person that's in this call has a smartphone, and they're all on Instagram and Facebook and social media. So what I'm saying is, use those platforms to actually, you know, position yourself better in the market for you to be relevant. Don't post it to say, having a lazy day. What are we going to do with that information? You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's very important. Being aware of your surroundings, having authority, meaning you need to understand who you are and be confident in who you are. We have introverts, we have extroverts, we have introverted extroverts in psychology. I'll mention that because that's what I studied, but it's important for you to also establish your voice and who you are in the market and in your space of speciality. That's the only reason why you would be relevant in the market, and that is what will set you apart from your peers. Okay, being real, authenticity, your English, authenticity is key, right? Being who you are. I sit in rooms with people that I never thought, Kegomoditswe, you know, a simple girl from Tabanchu, a one street town with one robot, would ever sit in boardrooms with people that I never thought I would. But because I know I come from humble beginnings, I know who I am and I trust in who I am. I trust in my competence and what I can do. I'm able to be there and be myself and not to pretend to be the next person, because who I am is what the business wants, and that's what is more impactful. Okay, understand your audience and understand the people that you speak to is also very important, because you can't just, you know, position yourself without understanding your audience and how your audience will receive you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you said, listen, the pods are safe with Kego in here. The pods are very safe because she is cooking something here, and let's allow her to cook. So how do students, and I'm glad you're going to talk about how students remain relevant, because they're not just competing with their own, it's not just their own brand out there. So how do they best stay relevant while there are other brands they have to compete with?
Okay, perfect, Ivo. So I've got some helpful tips here for the students, right, which I think would be very, very important for them to understand how then they stay relevant in the changing and very fast-paced environment and market, right? We spoke about them defining what their personal brand is. The second thing would obviously, you know, entail doing research and understanding emerging changes in the market, understanding the markets that they play in. Just because you're studying, let's say, a BCom in communications for argument's sake, you're not just going to be theoretical and look at your books, but really go onto LinkedIn, go onto other websites, listen to podcasts, listen to what seasoned professional communication you know, people do in the market, and that will kind of give you an idea of where the world is going, because the world is changing every single second. So that's very important, right? Establishing a social media presence. They've already, all of the students, I'm sure, have already established a social media presence, but it goes back to what I said earlier on, understanding how to use your social media presence that you've established. Your TikToks, these dancers, yes, they're great, but they won't take you anywhere. So perhaps re-look and revisit your TikTok account and follow like-minded people in your industry or in the industries that you would like to be part of. And that will kind of, you know, steer you into the right direction. The fourth point that I had actually put here is, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's definitely, you know, keeping up with the latest trends in the market. Lastly, being consistent and living your brand.
Listen, it's very sad that I have to drop the mic, allow Kego to drop the mic here. I see they saying the replenishment with Kegomoditswe. Kego, I know people want you back, and if you can stay on the call, everyone, I'm going to tell you how we can make sure that we invite Kego back. Remember, Secure the Grad will be hosting its career masterclass soon, and that's on the 12th of September. Let's see if she will accept our invitation. But for now, it's time again that you submit that poll. What do you find most challenging when completing funding application? Is it writing that compelling application? Is it gathering the necessary documents, everything from your past degree, like some of us who graduated last 11 years ago, or understanding that eligibility criteria? Click on your choice and click on submit button. I've just submitted mine, and mine is often, you know, when they just start writing, write us that essay, I'm just thinking, I'm out. And that could be really losing out on a lot of opportunities. Kego and Presh, we're going to circle back to you in our Q&A segment. We're almost there, but I want to do a quick pivot, and that will be to Yolinda. We're going to now move off the funding conversation and talk about something that's very critical. Now that you have the funds, where do you stay? So Yolinda, welcome on hashtag Secure the Grad, and we are very excited to have you with us. A little bit about what you do and what does your role entail in your company?
I first have to say that it is extremely nasty of you to have me follow those awesome ladies from Coca-Cola. That is just unfair. It's not nice.
Because I trust you, Yolinda. I trust that you're going to deliver right after that.
I'm going to try my damnedest, I promise you that. But I've got to tell you, the ladies are inspiring. And there's, I almost want to ask you to have an inspirational session with your postgrads or Secure the Grad, because a lot of it is life lessons that you need going forward in life. And if you can get them now, it's even more powerful, because it just shows the growth process that you can start now already. So that is awesome. Ladies, I salute you. Really, I do. Okay. From my side, I think the biggest thing that takes up my time is being a mom. So any career-driven ladies out there, if you can hold back on that, then go for it, because it takes up everything. But I really love I've got twin girls, they're 16, and I've got a boy who's 8. I love them to bits, so I still wouldn't change anything about that. Having a career and a family life is always daunting. So make wise decisions and try and balance everything to make sure that you give your all to all aspects in life. Normal day in the life of school runs, office work, and trying to always better yourself. Just keep that in mind as you grow. But that's me in a nutshell.
So Yolinda, it's great to have you on the platform with us. And I want to ask, we know that there's a lot of issues, particularly when it comes to students getting funded. One of the criteria is that students do look for accommodation that is accredited if they do not live on campus. Can you maybe talk to us a little bit about what off-campus accredited accommodations are available to students? Because I know you do work in the property market.
Yes. Evodia, what I can do is I've arranged a slideshow. So if you would like me to just share my screen, then we can run through the questions that you've opted. Will that be fine with you?
That's perfect.
Great. Then let's do that. Okay.
I can see it's loading on my side. On the chats, please give us a thumbs up once you can see Yolinda's presentation.
Loading on my side as well, so I'm sure it will be up and running soon.
I see some people can already see it. There we go. I can see it on my side as well.
Okay, excellent. It's just taking a while, but we will get there.
Linda, while we may be waiting for the, I see, there we go.
There we go. But we can run through the questions as we go along. So you first mentioned where can they find off-campus accommodation. So yes, your off-campus accommodation, you will find them on your student portal as well as the website of the university. So those are the places that you will look for them. And I will literally repeat this as we go through our questions. Please be careful of where you find your accommodation. Make sure that those accommodations that you are looking at are actually accredited or provisionally accredited. Don't go for anything that you find on social media or something that's been circulating if you do not know exactly where the source is coming from. So keep that in mind. Those are your two secure portals to find your accommodation.
So what should students be mindful of as they go through and they see these opportunities available? I know that the moment you drive out of campus, you see a lot of these posters around, come find accommodation here, email us here, call us there. What would you say students should keep in mind?
Okay, when you look for accommodation, always keep in mind the status of the facility. So that means whether they are accredited by the university. It is extremely important to know whether they are. You have, and I am one of those landlords, so please, I'm saying this with the tongue in cheek. You will find accommodation that's in the process of being accredited. So they've perhaps bought a new property that they've renovated and we are awaiting HRA to do the inspections. So you will have those accommodations also. But 90% of your accommodation should already be provisionally accredited by HRA when you start looking for accommodation. If it is a landlord that is purchasing a new property that's in the process of getting accreditation, make sure that it is an existing service provider. So they've already got houses that is available on the portal. They are just expanding their portfolio. Then at least you know what type of services to expect from the new landlord, if we can put it that way. What you should also keep in mind is look at what services are included in your rental amount. So different landlords provide different services. They will look at electricity amount that is included in the rental amount. Do they provide cleaning? Do they provide Wi-Fi? What type of Wi-Fi do they provide? Is it a good quality? Is there a cleaning services, laundry services, that type of thing? So just be aware of what type of services are included in your rental amount. Then make sure you know what the house rules are for the different facilities. See if you would like to adhere to those house rules. If you do not want to adhere to the house rules, then don't make life difficult for yourself rather than look for other accommodation. Location is key. There's a comedian that, but we won't go into that now. I might just give away a lot of detail about myself, including my age. But anyway, location is key. Sorry, location. Okay.
Location.
If you are, it's actually so terrible to say this, but we usually used to say, if it's female students, please make sure that you pick accommodation that's close to campus. But we can't just say that for female students anymore, because everybody can fall victim. So try and see how close to the university you can get. If the facility is not that close to the university, do they provide shuttle services? What type of security is involved? Because that is a key factor that you should definitely look into. And then also the last one that you should keep in mind is costs involved. No upfront. Is there an admin fee payable? Do they ask for a specific amount of rent before your bursary pays out? Is there a deposit payable? When do they want it paid? That type of thing. So make sure that your costs is secured so that you know what is expected of you and how you should go about securing your accommodation then. What you should also be very firm about is, especially for our postgraduates, this slide shows almost anybody that is securing off-campus accommodation can so this is good for them to know as well, but especially for your postgrads. A lot of the homeowners or the landlords is sort of reluctant to provide accommodation for postgrads because we are not sure of funding. And I mean, it's a big headache for students as well as homeowners. Remember, a lot of landlords provide accommodation and then we wait for when your funding pays out. So keep in mind that this is a major security risk for a homeowner. So when they get cranky and when they start asking a lot of questions, please don't shoot the messenger, but bear in mind that we have paid out a lot of funds to make sure that we provide proper accommodation for our postgrads. So if you can secure your funding before that time, it will be excellent. Share this detail with your landlord. Share with them how far you are in the process. Share with them what will be paid, what will not be paid. I think a lot of headaches and a lot of traumatic experiences for homeowners as well as students can sort of be eliminated if there's just proper communication in place. If you know what to expect or what will be expected of you, a lot of heartache can be spared.
Absolutely, I do agree with you with that. And I want to jump on that. There are some pitfalls that we know that students often fall into when they're advertising. I know a family member, close family member of mine, that had already paid out a deposit only to find out that this does not exist. It almost kind of sounded too good to be true. But listen, can you maybe talk to us as someone who has a lot of experience in this sector, in this environment? What should students be looking out for?
Okay, your pitfalls that you should keep in mind, the saying that you just mentioned now, Evodia, if it sounds too good to be true, then it usually is too good to be true. Always keep that in mind. There's a lot of pitfalls, and I feel so sorry for the students because they are in a position where sometimes they're not even in the location where they need to apply for accommodation, so they do not see the places up front. They don't know whether they really exist. They don't know if the photos being used are actually the property that they will be staying at. So there's a lot of pitfalls that the students should look out for. I know, and this is so sad because we're all financially struggling. I mean, if you're a student, you need to do a lot of things to make ends meet. And then you have students that sort of drone in on this and they exploit it even more because they use this to advertise that they will go and view the properties for the students at a fee. Sometimes these students do actually go and they look and they take video footage, etc., for a small fee, which is absolutely acceptable. Remember, they go, they do travel, it's their time, their effort that they put into it. So I understand charging that fee absolutely, but it shouldn't be a big amount. Yeah. Be careful of fraudulent advertising. Make sure that you still confirm whether those properties advertised are linked on the portal, are advertised on the university's website. Make sure that the facilities that you see in the photos actually look like the photos, that they actually exist. It's so sad that we prey on our most vulnerable, but people do. That's unfortunately just human nature. It's scary, it's not nice, but they do that. So be careful for fraudulent advertising, be careful of scams. Try and find somebody that's either on campus or maybe an SRC that can go and view the property, somebody that you trust. There's quite a few students we work with that do placements at our properties, and it's trustworthy people. And if we place the students there, we don't even require the students to pay that fee. We pay the fee for those students providing placements for us. So it's make sure that you are well aware of everything that is aware in this situation, because it can get really badly out of hand.
And many of our students have highlighted that they unfortunately have been on the bad side of accommodation. But we also know that it is that season for many of those who live in on-campus accommodation, where the replacement outcomes will be shared in the upcoming months. I believe in September, students will know the outcomes of their accommodation statement. And for those who are unsuccessful, or for those who want to change where they currently live and want to look for better opportunities, how can students contact who can students contact rather, if they want to find out more about off-campus accommodation?
Okay, well, what you can do is you can contact HRA. I've really loved Danayo. She's absolutely an iron lady all in her own. So HRA is there. You still go to the student portal. You can still go to your website of the university. Talk to a current landlord, maybe a friend or somebody that is studying in the same field as you, live off campus. Go with somebody that can refer you. Referral is key. If you go to the business world, referral is key. So HRA, your own landlord or a friend's landlord, and then you can also go to a multi-let. We are a group of homeowners, and we try and make sure that our houses adhere to the highest level of what to give to a student. All right. We really try and see whether we can adhere to everything that is required by the bylaws of the municipality, what is required by the university to provide that little bit better accommodation than the rest, just to make us a cut above.
And I think this is really, really important that students understand this perspective as well. So, Yolinda, thank you so much for sharing the insights. And do remember, you can put your contact details on the chat for our students. Yolinda is a very trusted homeowner that has been referred by Housing and Residence Affairs. So if you are looking for accommodation, please remember to get in touch with Yolinda and her colleagues from Multi-Let. Yolinda, please do leave your contacts on the site. And I know some students were saying, how can I get hold of all these presentations? Remember, Secure the Grad does record these sessions. You can catch them on our YouTube page. That is Secure the Grad on YouTube. So please remember, do watch, and we will be posting this as well on Career Hub. If you've not registered on Career Hub, please make sure that you get that right. Our last poll for this session, are you planning on living off campus or in the upcoming year, or are you planning on living on campus? Or are you undecided? Please pick your choice and click on the submit button. We definitely want to see your choices. Yolinda, I love the quote that you have. Do you perhaps want to read it for us as you wrap up?
Oh, let me just get it back here quickly. Hold on. The quote that's there, I think it's very powerful. The harder you work for something, the greater you'll feel when you achieve it. So guys, I know there's a lot of pitfalls and a lot of headaches and a lot of tears, and the list is long, but the harder you work for it, the sweet taste of success is just around the corner. So put in that extra effort and you can achieve absolutely anything.
Thank you for that. And I see today's panel, ladies and gents, was really jam-packed, very pivotal information. And we only have an opportunity to, unfortunately, take 2 questions from our audience. I do know we need the speakers back. I do agree. We definitely need all of them back. I want to ask if you have an opportunity. Eleanor already has her hand up. So Eleanor, I'm going to ask that the team enable your microphone as well, so that you can ask your question. Remember, once your microphone has been enabled, that you unmute your mic. Go for it, Eleanor. Please unmute your microphone and you can go ahead and ask your question.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Thank you so much for such a webinar. My question is, I'm an international PhD student who is now finalizing a thesis. And really my question towards the previous speaker is, how do I go about it? I just need accommodation maybe for the next 4 months so that I concentrate on writing my thesis away from home. I'm based in Zimbabwe, but I would want to be located at UFS so that I finalize my thesis. How do I go about it? Just for 4 months, the next 4 months.
Great question there. We can take another hand. So Yolinda, for you, the question is, do you have short-term rentals, particularly for a PhD student that is just coming to finalize and submit?
Guys, always keep in mind that it should be availability. So if I've actually got a unit open, so if I will put my contact details in the chat, and then you can give me a shout and we can see what we can arrange for you. You will have landlords that provide short-term accommodation, but it is always linked to availability. So just keep that in mind. All right.
Thank you so much, Yolinda. Yolinda will be putting her contact details for you, Eleanor, on the chat, and thank you for that question. Sibongile, we're going to jump over to you. Your microphone has already been enabled or is currently being enabled. Once that is done, please remember to unmute your mic and ask your question. Sibongile, you can unmute yourself.
Oh, hi, Evodia. My question is directed to the Coca-Cola team. I have recently been funded by the Coca-Cola bursary, and then there's a remaining amount. And because I'm an off-campus student, and I would really love for that balance to pay for my transport and also for like my meal allowance. So I cannot get hold of it because the institution is requesting for an approval letter. So I am asking, how do I get that? Because I've been sending emails to the study buddy email and it does not work anymore.
All right. Keho or Presh, either of you can take that question from Sibongile around that letter of acceptance.
Yeah, thanks, Evodia. Thanks, Bongile, for that question. I'll put details of the exact person and not the study buddy email address that you can send that query directly to so that we can resolve it quickly, okay? I hope that will help.
La bona, re letlisetsa batho ba blind ba shabo ba powo. So I'm so glad that unfortunately it is the end of our Q&A segment with only 1 minute left before we have to wrap up our webinar. Ladies and gents, we have really worked hard in this webinar. Normally we've got like 10 minutes to spare or even 30 minutes to spare in our Q&A segment. But I do believe that most of the questions that we did see in the Q&A component of this webinar or of the platform were already there. I also want to say, while you are preparing to secure the grad by the end of this year with this very short second semester, if you are experiencing any challenges as a University of the Free State student, please reach out to our GPS success coaches on our contact center, and the number is 051-401-9111. Please press on option 2. Alternatively, you can email them on gps@ufs.ac.za. Our success coaches are ready to help you. Alternatively, if you need academic advising, you can contact either of our advisors on our 3 campuses. Bloemfontein is advising at ufs.ac.za. Kwakwa advising QQ@ufs.ac.za. And if you're a student of the South Campus, you can email our team on advisingsc@ufs.ac.za. Alternatively, you can reach us via WhatsApp on 087-240-6370. Advising is also available on Facebook. You can find them on UFS Academic Advising. If you are in need of tutorial support, remember A-Step is there for you. We were celebrating a lot of years. I'm not going to mention how old, but we are a teenager now as A-Step. Email us on astep@ufs.ac.za. Also remember that the sessions have been recorded, and do read your email. If you've not registered or activated your LinkedIn Learning profile, remember the University of the Free State pays for your LinkedIn Learning profile. So do those extra courses to make sure that, as Kego said, that you do stand out and remain relevant in your industry as you look for opportunities. Also, update your contact details on PeopleSoft, Oracle PeopleSoft. We do have a evaluation link. We want to know whether today's session was a hit or a miss, or you are unsure, or maybe you say, guys, this is what I'd like to request Secure the Grad focus on next. These are topics you'd like to hear from us, or how we could improve our webinars in the future. We'd definitely like to hear from you. So please complete the link in the chats. Alternatively, you can get the link to our feedback form on your student email. As I said, the sessions are recorded, and you can catch the highlights on our Instagram page, and that is Secure the Grad on Instagram. To our speakers, a huge thank you. You've been a wealth of wisdom. The team at Feenix, Lee, as well as the colleagues, the team from the postgrad school. David, thank you so much once again. For our financial aid colleagues, Jimmy and Tokelo, it's been a pleasure having you. Presh and Kegel from CCBSA. And last but not least, Yolinda, thank you so much for the information around how we can securely accommodate our students on their journey of securing the grad as well as securing that bag. Just some details of what's upcoming. We have our calendar. So on the 12th of September, we'll be having a careers and entrepreneurship masterclass. So if you are ready to get into the next section of what do I do after I graduate? What are the different pathways? What are other industry experts saying about these different roles? Please do remember to sign up for that webinar. We want to announce our winners for today's webinar. Remember, if you are a winner, you need to contact us, and our winners are, let me see, Tembile Mgomezulu, Dipulelo Musia, Buhle Madlala, Dinawe Bovana, and Karabelo Morabani. Congratulations, and you are our winners on today's webinar. The team will be getting to you. Please remember to email us at securethegrad@ufs.ac.za, and let us know that you are one of our winners and how you can collect your prize. Remember, it doesn't matter whether you are on the Kwakwa, Bloemfontein, or South Campus. We want to make sure that we do reward you for being diligent and for engaging with us on the session. From myself, the technical team in the background, as well as our speakers, we want to say a huge thank you. You've been a wonderful audience, and to our panel members, you've been a wonderful team of panelists, and this is it from our side till our next webinar.
Thank you and bye.